may be new to Tamil Heritage Trust, a quick introduction. We've a bunch of volunteers based in Chennai, established way back in 2010 with the objective of understanding, appreciating, disseminating, and celebrating India's rich and varied heritage. And towards this, we have a number of events and initiatives. The most common one is the Monthly Heritage Trust Monthly Heritage Talk that happens every first Saturday. This time, due to the requirement, we've made it the first Sunday. We have topics which are from vary on a wide range of subjects, whether it is on history, on architecture, on art, and a number of other topics. These are online talks are in English on the first Saturday of every month. We also have a talk on the third Saturday or Sunday of every month at Chennai, which is a hybrid talk. Those talks are in Tamil and focus more on the heritage of Tamil Nadu and Tamil Nadu itself. We also conduct annual festivals and seminars. The annual Pechu Kacheri was last held in December 2022, where the topic was Vijayanagara, a city, a dynasty, and an empire, where for 2 days we had a large number of talks focusing on the art, architecture, history, and other features of the Vijayanagar city and empire. We also conduct the Indology Festival once a year, which is an online festival where we put together scholars from India and overseas on topics, specific topics pertaining to India and Indology. All our talks are free to the public, and they're all archived in our YouTube channel. You to mute your thing, please. Yeah. So all our talks are available to the public free, and they're all archived at our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is if you search for Tamil Heritage Trust, you will find our YouTube channel, and they're all there for you to watch at your leisure. We also conduct workshops and site seminars. The most recent workshop, we have resumed a monthly workshop, the How to See a Temple. We've conducted the one for February and March, and now we shortly will be announcing the date for April. Those of you who are in Chennai or will be passing through Chennai during that weekend, it's a one-day workshop that covers temple architecture, iconography, and more. And then we have a visit to a temple, a guided visit to a temple to reinforce what you've learned during the morning about the temple architecture. We have an initiative called Alamaravai, which is to assist teachers who are interested in heritage to take the message of heritage to their students and to their communities all over Tamil Nadu. We have been retained to give away the Venkaya Award for Epigraphy, which we started in 2022, the first award. This is a unique award. It's one of a kind to recognize exclusively exceptional individual contribution to Indian epigraphy. And we are happy to say that the first award, the inaugural edition, went to none other than Dr. Y. Subrailu, a doyen in epigraphy. We also have instituted the THT Professor S. Swaminathan Award, named after our co-founder and our inspiration, Professor S. Swaminathan. There he is giving away the award for the last 3 years to the respective winners of 2020, 21, and 22. This is for recognizing exceptional individual contribution for the understanding and dissemination of heritage in the country. To join our mailing list, please send us a mail to admin@tamilheritage.in, and we'll make sure that you don't miss any of our events in future. Now, coming to today's program, we are delighted to have a distinguished and experienced archaeologist, Dr. J Manuel, to talk on the influence of Copper Age images on the Gupta Era icons. Dr. Manuel is today a scholar at the Padmasree B.S. Wakankar Archaeological Research Institute in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. Earlier, he retired as the Deputy Superintending Archaeologist of the ASI. He holds a PhD, an MA in History, an MSc in Applied Geology, and a PG Diploma in Archaeology. He has participated in the excavation of several archaeological sites, including Dholavira, Bijamandal, Lalkot, Sanchi, Bhimbetka, and others. And as you will notice from those names, his experience and exposure spans prehistoric, Harappan, and proto-historic, right up to the medieval periods of Indian history. He has contributed to the setting up of museums and to the efficient management and conservation of sites. He has published over 150 articles in prestigious journals and volumes and presented papers at over 60 conferences and seminars. And very interestingly, he is the man of choice when it comes to explaining history and archaeology to our guests and dignitaries. As you can see, whether it is the PM of Sri Lanka at Sanchi, or the Vice President of India at Mandu, or the Chief Election Commissioner at Bhimbetka, Dr. Manuel has been the one who's been selected for the task. We're extremely happy to have Dr. Manuel today with us, and thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation to deliver this talk. And over to you now.
Sir, please unmute. Please unmute and share your presentations.
Am I visible?
Yeah, you are visible, but the presentation has to be seen, and that is still to come. The same thing that you did just a while back. Share screen.
Okay.
And select the presentation. Yes, it has come up. Now you can go to full screen. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good evening, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how many can see me or not, but this is a topic which is sort of new, and actually Gupta art is known very well throughout the world, and it is shown as the flowering of the nation's intellect and art and literature, and many things are there. But Gupta art is not standalone and sudden blooming of the bamboo flowers or something like that. It takes it takes art influences from far earlier times, so much early that one has not actually traced it. And this particular lecture of mine is a little going into something like 2000 years before, almost 2000 years before, where you can see the continuity of art from the copper hoard images. Copper hoard images of anthropomorphic figures. For example, you might have seen some of these figures which are seen here. These are known as the copper anthropomorphic figures. These are found in copper along with copper hoards, which are found in this particular area of the Ganga-Yamuna Doab region. Actually, this is Yamuna and this is Ganga, and we have seen occasionally even as far as Lothal also. The hub center is this area. So this copper hoards along with the copper anthropomorphic figure and the other remains, excluding the copper, is of the ochre pottery. So these have been a strong culture which has been influencing art of the particularly not only North India, even in South India, and even later also in other parts of Southeast Asia. So this I would like to present before you. But the main thing here is that the copper anthropomorphic figures is much akin to what the literature says about the Rigvedic god Indra and Vishnu. So these images, if recognized as of Indra and Vishnu, you have the continuity very much. You will never get the images with inscription that this is Sri Hari or Sri Vishnu or Sri Indra. But according to the Rigvedic and Atharvavedic and Yajurvedic in similarity of what is written and what has been shown, this is fairly, one can fairly agree that this is a possibility. And if that possibility is agreed, then you have at least, whereas one says that about 2,200 years before now, you have the earliest images of Vishnu as Vasudev and Balram. But if you agree these things, then you have the these images going as back as 4,000 years before now, and then you have these showing how it influenced. These people not only was a powerful technological people with good technology of the copper hoards and copper technology of various, even now there is a Ganeshpura where many hoards, many 77 objects were found, and this shows very interesting type of harpoons and spears and many things. So this was an active, dynamic type of people who influenced much of North Indian art, which we will see. And this is separate from the in Harappan civilization. Harappan civilization, although it's not very accurate, it's only for the purpose of demonstration here. The Harappan civilization, you can see marked with the green. And here you can see that there had been overlap both in the area, the temporal and the spatial overlap was there. But it is during the later part of the Harappan civilization that the Ganga-Yamuna Doab copper hoard culture started to be started to bloom and bear effect on other areas. So now to show that how these copper anthropomorphic figures are the images of Indra and Vishnu, I would like to give the references from the Rigved and other Vedas. The body language differences of the images from Harappan civilization and the copper and ochre pottery culture is obvious, and we are presently discussing only the copper and ochre pottery culture. So now we will start with the type of references. Now this is one of the anthropomorphic figures, copy of it, rather a digital reconstruction of what was found, which we can see the earlier the diagrammatic schematic also later in the PowerPoint itself. So the body line is replicated to varying extents for millenniums, and it can be seen up to the Gupta period. The presentation traces back the hoary antecedents of the extant Gupta art across the centuries and millenniums, which will have not been highlighted till now. And we quote here the Atharvavedic and the Rigvedic and Yajurvedic references. So if we agree, we have this 4,000 years old history of image making. During the British time, several scholars said that Rigvedic times there was no images and like that, and Indian scholars also followed. but now it is very clear, and at least 7 to 10 scholars have shown that these are there. And the fact that earlier it was said that there were no images, no image worship, has to be reconsidered. No image worship during the Rigvedic times has to be reconsidered in the light of the references themselves, which has been shown by earlier scholars like Krishna Kumar, Manjul and P.K. Mishra and several persons. So these are there, and I will start quoting the Rigvedic verses. Now, one thing more I want to say is this, that the Rigvedic literature image making is not so conspicuous. Only a few are known about image making. They were much interested in writing richas, mantras, or rather composing richas and mantras about Indra, Agni, Varun, Vishnu, Maruts and others to come to the Soma ceremonies and help them in many ways for getting many things like cows and horses and other wealth also. Now, this is one of the foremost Rigvedic references, Rigved Mandal 4, Sukta 24:10. मेरे इस इंद्र को 10 गायों के बदले कौन मोल लेता है. Now this is clear, very clear, that Rigvedic verses says that for one image you have to give 10 cows, and when your work is done, work means Shatruon ka vad, the enemy is annihilated, you can return back the images and I will give you back the cows. So these are so though references to images are as such are admittedly lacking, but one can see clearly that there is a mental picture of the Rigvedic gods, especially the mental image of the god Indra and other gods also, how he is shown in the Vedic people's mindset. Indra is shown with shown as having too much of strength in the several verses. Devam ka bal Indra, so he bears much strength. Indra is very powerful. He is very strong, and आपकी भुजाओं का बल भी अपरिमित है. His strength of the arms is unlimited. बलवान इंद्र की भुजाएं गौओं को जीतने में, his arms are so powerful, he can win the cows for his followers. Hey Balwan Indradev. So there are hundreds in Rigved and Atharved where one sees that he is not only shown as very powerful, very strong, and his arms are also shown as very strong. Now, the image you see, the body language, if you look at the body language, whoever is strong is shown akimbo, and whoever is defending the territory or something, his feet is spread apart. This is the initial phase of the Vedic people. So you can see the strong wrestlers are shown akimbo. So just for comparison, all are akimbo. Now this akimbo arms are showing that come, take on a fight. I am strong. I'm challenging you. Something like that. So these gods initially, in the period when there was no interaction or little interaction between the Vedic people and the Harappan civilization, as like always, there may have been tussles, and therefore the constructs of the images were of a strong gods. This is the image of the supposed Indra figure. Only presently and very honestly, there are only few takers of this image as Indra. It was proposed as early as 1985 by Krishna Kumar and P.K. Mishra in 2011, 2007, Manjul and myself and several other persons have agreed that this could be of Indra. But presently, till present, there are only few takers for this as Indra. But I have my own conjecture and reasons or logic that says that these are very much of Indra. So how people took protection of Indra in his under his arms. Hey Balshali Indra. There are numerous. Now we have shifted to the Atharvedic ones. He Shaktishali Bhujaon wale Indra. So from Rigvedic to Atharvedic, I mean, there may be even can't say, because even big scholars like Max Muller said that no one can say the exact date. But maybe 1,000 years might have passed, but the Indra ruled the roost, and his and of course you know very well that the Rigvedic mantras, the richas have been carried over to the Atharvedic also. That may be one of the reason, or definitely continuity was there at least till before the early historic times. So आपने बाहुबल से तोड़ डाला. The strength of the arms is shown. इंद्र की भुजाएं हमें अपने चारों तरफ धारण करती है. Now this means that under the arms of the Indra, the people find protection. अकेले ही युद्ध जीतने वाले हो, इंद्र की भुजाएं सर्वत्र सहायता करें. These are the Atharvedic references. इंद्र की भुजाएं हमने चारों तरफ धारण किया. इंद्र से में arms we have worn around us for protection. Now these are some curvilinear ones which shows that people are under his protection also. Indra the rainmaker. Now we see evidences of Indra the rainmaker also in several and the thunderbolt and such things. So we can see here, तुम जलाधरी मेघ त्वचा के समान भेदन करते हो. So now these streaks, these are not the surface cooling down. This is consciously made streaks, and it perhaps represents the rain drops falling down. There are other figures where when the metal becomes cold, there is contraction and their surface narrow. I mean, this some small grooves are formed. That is another thing, but these are clearly this could be the surface cooling effect. Now these are also streaks have been made, and it is falling in different directions. Indra is the epicenter at the epicenter of the rains, and definitely it is spreading everywhere. Now this is from Lothal in Gujarat, and you can see the streaks. They have been made by punching. So this is very clear that it may be the streaks of the rain falling. Depiction, even children make a similar type of drawings whenever they are asked to make the rainfall. Now these are other images. Now here we see the fish also, which is symbolic of rains and waters. Now another thing is this, the Shoban Top Wale Indra. There is references in two richas of Rigved where he is worn, he is shown as wearing hat. But as you know, the body itself is flat. How much the this hat can be projected out? So it is very less projected out, but it is clear. So this is another verse of Indra having hat. And hooded Indra images were found from several sites like Chandosi, Shirajpur, Bisoli, Erich, Jhansi district. So these are the hooded capped Indra images were found from several sites. Now you can see this is the when you can see understand that it is only a plate-like figure. Yet they have strived to show the hooded figure, the hat of the Indra. So here also another figure. Now, as you know that the thunderbolt, the lightning spreads irregularly from one area to another. This is the depiction of Indra himself, the thunderbolt and the lightning, and it is spreading other places. So these are the images, and Indra was worshipped and taken around on pole. This is one of the diagram, and another is these figures don't have the long legs. Evidently, these were kept on the bamboo poles or other poles and raised up during Indra Dhwaj, Indra Yatra. And even in Tamil Nadu, this was quite popular. I don't know whether it was in some of the books of British period. There is evidence of Indra festival. Presently, I don't know. Vedic people may have carried several Indra images on poles, showing the victorious Indra wedged between top of poles. This is a reconstruction of what we got. And this is the victor Indra with his arms shown up. And this is Madhapur, 31 copper anthropomorphic figures were found from Madhapur in Uttar Pradesh. And this shows that these cannot be part of a home. It may be either the artisan was selling it, or it was a procession which was to be undertaken, and then it was hoarded away to be collected, but unfortunately they couldn't collect it back. The victorious Indra for Indra Yatra processions. So to Indra Dev ki muthi ke saman shatru nashkari hai. So the power of the arms are mentioned. Here the long arms people as mentioned in several people under it. It seems that there are various types of anthropomorphic figures representing Indra, and several of these are reflected in the Vedic literature. The similarity of description cannot be mere coincidences. Perhaps a deeper study of Vedas may even corroborate of more types of anthropomorphic figures. And if there is one consideration that if a particular mandal is clearly shown that it is of later to this mandal or that mandal, and these are found in particular mandal, this rhyme with these images are of a later mandal or a earlier mandal. So this can be not very precisely dated, but they can be dated in a serial manner. No particular date can be given, but at least this type seems to be an evolution in the Indra images. So these are the just a compilation of the, for example, there is the thick neck. Now what one can imagine more thick than this image where the thick neck is shown, the hooded, the hat or the topi which is mentioned in the Rig Veda, the strong arms. Strong arms is numerous, literally numerous, and strong person. All these show that there is a strong possibility. However, we will have to wait for eternity that one will have such copper images where one says it is written that it is Indra, because at that time there was no script, and it should be either in Harappan script or anyway, even in Brahmi, early Brahmi also, because early Brahmi we have some evidence of the copper image which has some Brahmi written, which is early. As people may be knowing that Vishnu also rose to prominence. He is able friend of Indra, and he is like a brother. He, with the power of Indra, does many big works, and both are almost equal. And people say that the people means the Rigvedic Mandal and the Richard says that these are the both Indra and Vishnu are very strong, and they both are they cannot be defeated, both Aparajay, Indra or Vishnu Dev. So tum kabhi nahi harte, Indra and Vishnu. विष्णु देव अपनी सामर्थ्य से दिवस को प्रकट करते हैं. So now this also, as scholars of Rig Veda and know that this Rig Veda also is not early, although it is early in serial. So we have we can see that there is the rise of Vishnu also, and Vishnu is shown in Atharveda, which is where he is quite prominent, and Vishnu is compared with others also, and all are showing strong strength of arms. Now the strength of arms, and if it is to be depicted, it has to be depicted with some body language which shows the strength of the human body. So other references are these, and again Indra and Vishnu always victorious, and neither they can defeat each other also. They are equally strong. So Vishnu Shatruon ke vinasha, the destroyer of enemies. And now the Trivikrama avatar. Now Vishnu is shown as he does a mighty feat of measuring up the universe in 3 steps. He covers the entire universe in 3 steps. Now these are some of the which show the that it has he has covered the this universe in 3 steps. Many are there, and this happens to be more often in the just like Rigvedic Mandal 1 and Atharvedic or Rigvedic Mandal 10. So these are the that his feet is especially, I mean, his legs are so powerful or so long that he covered the entire universe in 3 steps. His legs and feet are definitely worth worship. 3 डगों में जगत की परिक्रमा की. Again same things. Now since I will rush through because I think it's a long PowerPoint, and people understand, can get the gist, or even note down the Atharvedic references and the Rigvedic reference. लंबे डग भरने वाले विष्णु हमारे लिए सुखदाई हो. So his long legs. Now the important thing, you have this akimbo type of representation, and these are claimed to be of Vishnu. Now this as you have seen earlier, the legs were wide apart, but they were limited to about this area in proportion. Now this is twice the length. This is even more than twice the length, I think. So this is perhaps representing the Vishnu figures in the early period. He has the strong arms and also the such long legs with which he can measure up the whole world within 3 steps. As mentioned above, these are again the images. The feet is also worshipped, and now we come to this part where Akimbo is shown and his feet is also shown. This is the continuity. Later, after the Gupta period, that one was of the Gupta period from Ramgarh in MP. So the Akimbo is there till the Gupta period, till the end of the Gupta period especially. But later, the Akimbo may remain or may not. Definitely a strong person may hold his arms in Akimbo. Now this long legs has been replaced by the demon of the outer universe. Vishnu reaches till there. Now the Rigved shows Dharti Rupi Shuklavarna Dhenu. Now coming to the point, this Dhenu means cow is white, and earth is shown as cow. This is earlier was of Rigved, this is of Atharved, and you can see there are the 2 horns of the cow, and this is Vara. Vara is rescuing the disease of the Kushan period, of the Mauryan period. This is the Brahmi letters, and this may be 3rd, 2nd century BC. So the continuity is there. This is right facing Vishnu Vara image, and earth as the cow is being rescued. Now please note that the Akimbo figure is continued. Normally one would have held the cow just representing the earth like this, but the strong God, whoever is strong, has to be shown Akimbo and also feet apart. So this is the same thing. Now the in 2nd, 3rd Ikshvaku Andhra Pradesh, this is the right facing image of Vara. Later we also see the left facing ones. Now if you compare, the same trend is there. The leg is wide apart, the feet is the arms are akimbo. Now the thing is this, that the curvilinear shape has gone, but the akimbo is there, and akimbo, this is Kushana period. So you can see now, if you turn the earlier figure which had the cow shown, if you turn the figure 180 degree, which can happen anytime, the artist can depict in another manner. So the body line depiction is almost similar. See, the images have taken two trends. These have directly in South India and remote areas, much of the early figures are right facing Varas. But if it is rotated and then you have left facing Varas as 180 degree like this, and this is a continuity of the copper images. So these are akimbo figures of even 2nd century AD. This is 2nd century AD Mathura museum image, and this shows the continuity of the. This is in stone, but that has been the closest parallel In fact, the Kheri Gujar image with the cow shown on the chest is like a Rosetta Stone. It is between the copper images of something 2000 BCE, and this one is about 200 or 150 CE. This makes a continuity. The one from the Kheri Gujar shows a continuity from that period. And besides there are, for example, this is from Assam, and you can see after the initial phase, whatever had gone outside to remote areas, that trend continued later. But in the hub center, like softwares change and new versions come, and in the hub center it changed. The closer areas did change very rapidly from the right facing to the left facing. Now in the third century AD, the Vishnu is shown with akimbo arms, and here you can see the half emergent this Bhumi. So this is continuity. But about the 3rd century AD, the artisans never felt that after the 3rd century AD, during the Gupta period, more often the feet came closer, especially in the 5th century AD. So this is a slow transition, but the akimbo, the imagery of the powerful god, is retained. So this is the continuity. Now this is early 5th, say 405 CE. So the legs have come closer, but the akimbo is there. So the earlier art is not limited to few places, and the Guptas, wherever the Guptas were in control or not even in direct control, the akimbo imagery of the copper hoard anthropomorphic images have continued. For example, this again, this is in MP itself, not only in remote areas, some areas, this is of the Gupta period, similar is shown, only one arm akimbo, but this trend is also there. Now, interestingly, the akimbo is there, the feet is apart. Now the left leg is slightly, the knee is bent. Can see the continuity. Now the woman is shown as earth, and here the left leg is raised higher and only one arm is akimbo. This is about 405 AD. Earlier, this akimbo is seen. This is about 1st century BCE. These are half prepared. This is of Kartike. This is unidentified Yakshi. All are akimbo. So the powerful influence of the akimbo effect is shown. And now scholars say that it is the Kushana physique effect, and no, I would rather say that it is not the, there is some effect of the powerful physique of the Kushana period, but it is not the lone case. The akimbo and the feet spread apart is tracing its antecedents from as far as early as something like 4,000 years before now, and seen till something like 500 AD very clearly up to the end of the Gupta period, and in some places occasionally, rarely, it is also shown in later 6th-7th century AD also. See the akimbo, this the behind it is both are akimbo. It is of Pavaya near Gwalior. This is Jhusi. This is Aaron, the famous site. So this is continued. Now even the feminine gods also had to show themselves. Anyone who is powerful has to be akimbo, and also if not inconvenient, feet spread apart also. See these things. The Mauryan period sculpture has been recarved, the abacus has been carved, and the This is Makar, and this is Mesh, Rashis, or all are seated. The Adityas are seated akimbo, blessing, because they have to raise one hand for blessing. That is not akimbo. Otherwise, the akimbo is there and the feet are apart, as we have discussed earlier. So this is till 6th century AD, this continues. The legs have come closer, but after 6th, 7th century AD, this also phenomenon becomes diluted and almost never shown. And in fact, afterwards, it becomes everted out. The arms are shown outward. The knee is bent inside and the palms are shown outside. This Buddhism also was affected. See, the akimbo is there, and this is Maitreya, and the feet is also apart. Now, Buddhas, for reason that Prithvi Bhumi Devi did come out in the rescue of the Lord Buddha, Bhumi Devi is not shown half emergent between the feet. Here we see several examples. Either it is a lion or a flower pot or a crown where the akimbo is there, and between the feet some other thing is there, because there is no reason. It is due to this feet spread apart that the feet spread apart has to be filled in with some mechanism, some symbol or theme. So as they could not, the Buddhists could not show the Bhumi Devi here for reason due to their respect for Devi especially. There are other depictions where lions, crown or flower pot or bunch of flowers are shown between the feet. Again, this is 1st century BC, 1st century AD. The akimbo is continuous. And it is in, see, this is also a image. All who has the pretensions to have divine power in the earlier phase, especially in North India, had to have akimbo. Now, one of the, for example, I said earlier also, this is perhaps a pot here. And the akimbo in the later period, although this ray-like is of earlier, because later it became the flower pot, the floral scroll is there, but the feet are coming closer. Now, the funniest thing about this is the Buddhist art also was influenced, as you can see from the earlier figures of the lady figures of Sanchi. Here, Gautam Buddha is not sitting, it's a Kushana image, he is not sitting as a meditating sage. He is sitting as if he is a wrestler, comforting his followers. Don't worry, I am the strong person here and I will protect you. See the body language. The Naga images from Sanchi, a short recount. So this is Indra. Many hundreds of such figures are there, not only with symbols or without symbols. The Vedic Vishnu with the long legs, the avatar of Vishnu, and as already mentioned, if you change the earlier figure 180 degree, you have this figure, and from here to this, you can see the continuity of art from the anthropomorphic figures to the theoanthropomorphic figures in the continuity. If you look closely, there are the Adityas, the Rudras, and the Vasus. Now, the lower rishis are having very less akimbo. The top ones are led by the Adityas, especially the Indra. He is shown right hand raised up, but the left arm is clearly akimbo, while the lower ones, not so powerful people, have less akimbo. This is a show of strength that is for divine, semi-divine, the show of strength is by Akimbo, and it is clearly shown till the Gupta period. And some places this is about 6th century AD, and these are the images which have been spread far and wide, and definitely shows the Akimbo images. So already said that about 4,000 years earlier, we can see the images, how the copper images influenced not only the Gupta art, till the Gupta art in the body line depictions. This is all about my presentation. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, can we have a brief conversation? Do you have anything more that you want to show? If not, you can.
No, I can actually, because you said between 1 hour you have to finish it. So I was always looking at the. I mean, I can show some more things here.
Show some images, please do. After that, we will have a conversation.
Yes. Now these are the Harappan images.
Okay.
So now see the Harappan images, the body line, the body languages is different. This image of the appears to be very close to the Shramanical disposition of the Kayatsar Mudra, the renouncement of even the clothes. So these are some of it. And there is a basic difference between the ethos and the representation of the Harappan civilization and the copper hoard culture, which in short I mention as COP culture, Copper Ochre Pottery culture. And here people, these are yoga images from Harappa. So these are, this is of course, another thing I wanted to show is that as per the knowledge which changed, earlier the Vedic images showed, mentioned also the cow as the earth. At least few evidence we get earth as the cow. But then the earth is represented as woman, as a lady in Pallava art also. And when the knowledge had changed and the earth was seen as a sphere, now people have shown it as a sphere also, according to their own imagination. These are later art, about 17th century or so. And yeah, this one. The other maybe even these are much later, and just reconstruction of the I mean just digitally made. So these are some of the references. I will now this is Pandharpur. So this is Vishnu, who wanted to meet one of his devotees. But the devotee was looking after his parents, and he said he gave one brick to Vishnu to stand there. After I have done my duties for my parents, I would come and meet you. So this is one of the few of the exceptions where these images are shown akimbo, which is after the Gupta period, much after the Gupta period. Actually, after the Kushana period, the feet comes closer, especially in Gupta period. But after the Gupta period, especially, the akimbo also is not depicted. So this is final.
Okay. Yeah.
These are some of the papers which we can see if you want. My the earlier claims of Kumar Krishna, he was the first person who identified these anthropomorphic figures as Indra. Subsequently, I have given my reasons for the images, some of the images to be Vishnu also, endorsing his earlier views. This is 1995 onwards, he's saying as it. That's all. Well within time.
Yeah,
1 year.
that's fine. We will have a brief conversation. If you could stop the sharing.
Okay.
It will help in, yeah. So I have a whole bunch of questions. Let me start with the first more basic information. This Bronze Age copper images that you were talking about, have they been found all over India?
No, actually the copper images have been more often found in the from Haryana to Uttar Pradesh, and one broken piece in Lothal, Gujarat, and one piece in Jharkhand area. So generally the skewness frequency is much more around the Ganga-Yamuna Doab region.
What you said to begin with, I'm okay with that. I'm
Yes.
only asking, even if not in the large volumes that the Ganga-Yamuna Doab region has come up with,
Yes.
other places, have you found even 1, 2? That's my question, more like.
Yes, yes, there have been some finding of not the anthropomorphic images, but some tools of the copperwood culture. I am just forgetting the name.
I can understand the copper or Bronze Age tools, etc. But I'm specifically interested in that image or close enough image.
No, the image, the farthest extension, as far as I know till today, is of something like 1,000 kilometers from the Ganga-Yamuna Doab is Lothal, although they have identified it as the axe. So, but the anthropomorphic figures have not been found elsewhere in large numbers like 6, 7, 10, 34 like that. Not even single ones.
Yeah, that's my question. Okay,
Yeah.
then is that, have there been stone replicas of the same? If so, where and what age are we talking about, if at all? Because I have a vague recollection of having seen some stone images like this also. But I'm not an expert, so I have no idea. But something tells me that there may have been. But
yes, you are correct. Actually, there are stone images of the same type in I think Bellary district, but that is very large, and it is something like a megalithic type of funerary type of thing, and there is definitely quite similar with the anthropomorphic figures of the Copper Age, but the nearest which comes to the Stone Age with the feet, not Stone Age, the stone images with the feet wide apart, is the figure of in the Mathura Museum. That is perhaps the earliest and very much having the body line similar.
Okay. But also, though perhaps not exactly the same, the image in the Indus image marked as a dancing girl.
Yes.
Who has her legs not that wide apart, but one on her hip and the other on her knees, kind of an image. Not exactly this kind of akimbo, but in a sense, it is sort of going there.
Yes. Actually, any person in action.
Right.
Even recently, I saw our Prime Minister. I don't know how in Lok Sabha he had kept his arms like this in akimbo. And anyone in action will have akimbo. But this large number, at least I can quote over 200 copper images, which has. But the frequency of the images from Harappan civilization is 99.5% or at least 99%, which are non-akimbo. That's the major difference.
Okay. But again, while, so there are two, from what I could understand, this is all new to me. I'm just an enthusiast, not a scholar researcher. The two major points that I could glean from your talk. One is that these large-scale Bronze Age sculptures, which are so similar, because of the fact that they are similar and repeating and available in large numbers, must represent a god. So I'm sort of leaving that as a first line. Second, you are saying that if it is a god, then it's that's your and few others' theory, is that it must be Indra, because of the Rigvedic references and the much later Atharvavedic references, that Indra being given such primacy, that therefore this is, if it is a god, then which god? It has got to be Indra. Correct me if I am wrong, if I have understood your structure.
Yes, earlier, some scholars were even saying at least there are 25 to 30 propositions about these anthropomorphic figures. Now, I shall recall some of them. One is boomerang, another is weapon, hammer, axe. I'm just some are mother goddess, some are
going to come to that mother goddess, but
many things. But one thing is that everything has to have a logic, because if you say it's a boomerang, it will boomerang on your head, because how come boomerangs are of different shapes? And weapon also has to have some standardization of size and shape. These are widely different, and therefore it seems to me that these cannot be any other thing other than divine images. And we have umpteen Rigvedic inferences that shows that Indra Yatra was there, and many circumstantial evidences. But if you want to leave him scot-free, you can, definitely.
Okay, and then the next projection is that there is a point at which Indra and Vishnu come together, and then Vishnu sort of takes over all of Indra's characteristics and becomes the supreme god. So Indra, Upendra, Indra, Vishnu, Indra, Vishnu. So it's a sort of transformation. Can we say that?
Yes, you named it correctly, Upendra. So Vishnu, you can say that he was an able associate of Indra, and he is not mentioned much in the Rigveda, except even some scholars say that he is not mentioned at all, but that is not correct. He is definitely mentioned in Rigveda, and he is an able associate, but in the later mandalas, he is shown as equal. But even later, with his arms as strong as Indra and his legs I mean, he can be anywhere at any time. Definitely. And after this Vaman avatar, Trivikrama avatar, this is later, but the genesis of it is from there, of the 3 steps of Vishnu, which the earlier says that by the power of Indra, Vishnu does such mighty works. But later, definitely, Vishnu becomes much more powerful. And there are several other reasons for example, the Prajapati is said to be the Matsya avatar, the Kurma avatar, and the Vara avatar. And some later says that Prajapati was lying there, and Vishnu comes out from the nostrils of Prajapati and takes the form of Vara and saves the earth and like that. So even the rise of Vishnu was not so rapid. It took at least, I cannot say, I should not say any particular time period, but definitely it had this, I mean, about 1,000 years. Definitely Vishnu rose slowly and steadily, and you see that the Gauraksha of the Indra sent this rains, and how Krishna as Vishnu as Krishna protected the people and the cow. And there is many things going on concurrently. The incorporation of the avatars into the larger figure of Vishnu. All the avatars came into the fold of Vishnu. Now, definitely, Indra was protecting and doing favor for the people, but Vishnu was more proactive. Now, from Matsya, Kurma, Vara avatar, and Narsimha and Trivikrama. So he was definitely projected as a doer god and a much more powerful god. And definitely the incorporation of the assimilation of the avatars into the Vaishnava fold was one of the reasons. You may be knowing that till in Sanchi or other places, Indra is shown as the associate of Buddha, not Vishnu. It's a much long story, and I mean, many things happen.
Years in both Jainism and Buddhism with different roles, and they have a very strong presence in their stories of Buddha and the Jaina Puranas, right? So so in a sense, at some point in time, the Vedic Indra is becoming common to, though they may have different roles subsequently, but they are the whole concept is common across the larger Hinduism, Brahmanism, as well as the Buddhism, Jainism. Is it not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely Indra, and after the assimilation and the working together of the diasporas, definitely some understanding of the hierarchy of gods were there, but Indra and Brahma is shown in these figures where both are saying to Buddha, you preach your new found knowledge to, but not Vishnu. So there are many aspects. I mean, Vishnu, according to art, came into prominence from 2nd century BC to, I mean, slowly and steadily. But Indra was already there, but the rare figures of Vishnu is there. In Buddhist context, no images of Vishnu is found.
Okay. So the next question is, as you yourself mentioned, I have seen many people labeling this as Mother Goddess, this anthropomorphic figure.
Yes.
Right? Now, what can we present as a evidence to say that it is not Mother Goddess? Because we also see different images for the Mother Goddess lookalike, but they have in a crude three-dimensional format, they have breasts shown very clearly.
Yes.
That sort of leads to eventually in the Indian system the image of Lajja Gauri also in a sense, right? Yes. But this one, because it is two-dimensional thin disc-like thing, there is probably no way of showing breast, but can we completely rule out that this is not a mother goddess?
Sir, I don't rule out anything. But
Okay.
I am saying is this that from boomerang to mother goddess, and one of the scholars have said that these numbers are maruts, because if 31 or 33 are found in Madharpur, so Indra's able associates are there. But when they adores the cow on the Vara image, and they had shown the rib around both sides on the head of the anthropomorphic figures, definitely they could have made some contraption to punched it from behind and made the breast. But the continuity of the is not seen, as the continuity is seen in the mainly of the male gods, in the copper hoods, and the symbolism and the themes are very much related to Indra. And actually the metaphor has to change completely, because as our the Director General had said, the Rig Veda has not much element of female in the Rig Vedic period. Okay, some people would say Gargi, Maitri, and a few other names, and like that. But the Aditi is also there, and Bhumi is in a later apocryphal mention. So there are some references, but the greater frequency is towards the male gods. Then if you can conjecture and make a good cogent description of mother goddess, I would not rule out anything. I mean, but I feel that on the basis of the several images which has symbolism of fish, of the lightning, of the raindrops, it is Indra, and the long legs, the twice or more than twice long legs, definitely of Vishnu. And further, in the early historic period, the cow adores to Vishnu, the Vara, all shows the continuity, and the male gods, not the mother goddesses.
If we take the in-between period, so we see that these anthropomorphic copper images, then we start seeing early Buddhist images of varying kinds. There are a whole bunch of Yaksha images in the post-Maurya period, the Sunga period, etc. And then we see, of course, then Buddhist images without showing Buddha, and then later showing Buddha's face, etc. And Gupta era, you showed a whole bunch of, you particularly showed Varaha images and also other Vishnu images. In a sense, the Hindu gods and goddesses, their detailed sculptural stone sculpture form, we start seeing in the Gupta, and then continuity thereafter.
No, sir. From the Mauryan period itself, 1st century BCE, you saw the Kartikeya with Akimbu, and the Yakshini figures, and several figures of Surya also, Vishnu also from Takshila, with the half emergent. So it is a continuity from almost the Mauryan period, the copper image from Kheri Gujar, and then you have the Takshila image, the Takshila Vishnu image, and the other images also, like that from Gwalior Museum, and several other images are there which show definite continuity. It is not that the continuity is suddenly emerging in the Gupta period. It is there. It is there. And the prolific creation of the Gupta art showed the numbers, many more numbers than in Kushan. And earlier, especially in the Kushana art itself, you saw the Buddha also becoming the meditating Buddha also becoming akimbo-ish, the paradox, the contradiction, and the feet apart, where they could not show the Bhumi Devi, they showed it with the crown and the flowers and many line like that. So the continuity is very much there, and the Naga images and many images. The Gupta image from the Gupta images, actually the after the during the late Gupta period, this tapers of the akimbo tapers of the outward projected this bent of the arm becomes turned inside, and the palms go outside. That's the difference. So the effect of the anthropomorphic figures was by and large attenuated from during the later period of the Guptas, or by 6th century AD. It was more or less संभाव यानी बिल्कुल कायसर मुद्रा जैसे अगर हाथ ऊपर नहीं है तो it is almost like कायसर मुद्रा. Then even the later images show outward bent of the this thing, the lower palm, etc. like that.
Okay. No, I understand. The in a sense, the connection that you showed to the Vaishnava images, in what way is it going to be different? If you are connecting it to Shiva, for example, why is there that? I mean, as well, if I had not looked at anything, I start off. You can as well say this could be representing Shiva. I'm just throwing a counter question. That's all.
No, actually, for example, if you are asking about the copper images, then the long legs, for example, and the continuity to Trivikram images like that, Shiva doesn't have any reason for long legs. And one more thing, what is clear, what is to be said is that you may be very well aware that in Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, Dholavira, and many other places, the ethephalic images are there, and the seated yogic images are there of the Seva or Seva god said as proto-Shiva, and the linga-like images are there, and definitely the body language of the Harappan imagery is of a meditating nature. And there, except for some like the Andhakasurva, and such things, only one arm is barely akimbo, and even perhaps somehow the Shaivites kept a distance from the art influences of the Vaishnavas, but Buddhists were influenced, and even the Jainas, the meditating Jainas also have the elbow going far away from the in the early period. So, but Shaivites, they did their original because they had their own antecedents from very early period, and it was more or less meditating. And
in the form of a linga, which doesn't
linga, and others are also there in the Harappan period also.
Right.
So with the meditating images, Devadi, Dev, Mahadev, Yogi, Mahayogi, Shiva, and with such epithets, definitely you cannot have the akimbo figure standing with feet apart and like that. So Adi Yogi and like that. So the rarely I have seen in 100 1 or 2 sculptures, or at least 5 sculptures which have akimboish nature. Otherwise, in Vaishnav, most often it is still the Gupta period, and even they were so powerfully influencing that anybody who had to make the gods or goddesses, they had to show that that was the influence, that was the widespread influence, that even the goddess lustrated by elephants are shown akimbo, not only in Sanchi, in Deccan traps, Deccan caves also. They are shown as powerful. So that's the trend. But Sevites did perhaps say, no, we have our own philosophy and our own art. So the difference is quite conspicuous.
Interesting, very interesting. Thank you. I think it's a very interesting thesis and presentation in connecting this. It's very unfortunate that there is nothing written that connects all of this and directly, as in, this is what is, some kind of an inscription, some kind of even a line art with a couple of sentences that we could read. Unfortunately, we don't have it, and that basically means we've got to only make a speculation in terms of this is what this could be and this is how it might have happened, and we have a lot of detective work. So
yes.
You.
You can say that we can say that there is some circumstantial evidence, but no clinching evidence. So you can negate it or whatever you like.
Yeah. I know. I understand that. Thank you. It was really an interesting presentation, and it gave us a certain opening in a certain direction of linking, across eras from the historic period to largely prehistoric, undocumented period. And then also the most interesting thing that I found is connecting the Bronze Age material to the Rigvedic literature, because the very statement that we have been having is that we have a material culture, we have literature, and there is nothing that is linking the two. And this is, one plausible connection connecting the two, in a sense.
At least better than the boomerangs.
Right. Yeah. Boomerangs that's more fun.
Boomerangs and weapons and like that.
Honestly, that's
one more thing I want to add. If you wish to read on it, I have a recently published article on History Today. 20. It is published by Indian Archaeology Society, Delhi. So if you can access it, it's good. Otherwise, I will send you if you require.
Sure. Yeah, you can send it. I will access it. Certainly, it's something worth reading more to understand more about this.
Definitely.
Thank you for your excellent presentation, and thank you once again from Tamil Heritage Trust, and to our audience. We will meet again next month, first Saturday, with another online talk. But we have also one in-person talk that's happening later this month, and we will send details over to you on the date and the speaker and the time. And that talk will happen in Mylapore, in RK Convention Center in Chennai.
Sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, and bye-bye.